Improvise, adapt, overcome. A good motto to keep in the back of your mind when playing in Rules of Survival's harsh and unforgiving Battle Royale arena. Developer NetEase has created their own take on the Battle Royale schematic and have brought it to iOS and Android mobile platforms. Players will be dropped into the game world and will need to procure weapons, armor, and other items to ensure that they are the last player standing. While some aspects prevent Rules of Survival from achieving true greatness, what is included in the package is excellent and will have players entertained for hours without having to spend a single dime. Rules of Survival takes the Battle Royale formula established by the insanely popular third-person shooter PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and modifies it for mobile platforms. NetEase has captured the essence of what makes Battle Royale so enticing and backs it up with mostly stellar touch control gameplay and game structure. For the uninitiated, a player begins the match in a cargo plane with 120 other people and drops down onto the map. After touching down, the player will then have to search the surrounding area to find weapons, ammunition, and items to buff their stats, heal themselves, or modify their weapons. As the match goes on, the playable area on the map begins to shrink, forcing all the players to converge slowly on a concentrated area, and anyone outside of the area will slowly begin to take damage. The match death toll is usually high at the beginning, but as the playable area continues to shrink, the gameplay becomes more tense and more stealth-based. And even on mobile devices, it always feels good to sneak up on somebody completely oblivious to your presence only to flatten them out with a frying pan. Rules of Survival's online play is simple and streamlined with solo, duo, and squad queues should you have friends that would want to team up. There are a noticeable amount of loading screens before entering a game, however there aren't excessive loading times that come with these. And during my time of play, I felt very little lag and I wasn't removed from any of the matches that I participated in. For being a third-person shooter on a mobile device utilizing touch controls, Rules of Survival actually plays very well. Aim assist was incredibly helpful and makes combat more enjoyable and much more responsive. Buttons to crouch, jump, and go prone are quite close together and can make it easy to change your stance on the fly with practice. There are different control schemes offered and all can be adjusted in regards to their sensitivities. Sometimes my fingers would slide across the fire button by mistake and I would alert nearby enemies to my location, but most of the time I navigated without any hiccups. The driving controls as well were actually quite intuitive and easy to learn, but during my play there weren't many opportunities to actually get behind the wheel of the vehicle. After playing Battle Royale games like PUBG and Fortnite, I wasn't sure what to expect when booting up Rules of Survival. How would a game of PUBG's scope look and perform on mobile hardware, and how would it be able to smoothly recreate a similar experience compared to the original source material? I actually played Rules of Survival on my iPad Air 3, and I noticed sometimes the performance would bog down in high traffic areas, or there would be blatant texture pop-in after dropping out of the cargo plane. But overall, my experience on the iPad was actually very impressive. I even managed to make it to being one of 2 remaining players, something I hardly ever came close to reaching while playing PUBG or Fortnite. While Rules of Survival is free to play, it does offer microtransactions in the form of cosmetic loot boxes to change the appearance of your character. In an age where certain publishers are shoving loot boxes down consumers' throats for progression, Rules of Survival gets a pass because the core package they're offering, which is free in its entirety, is astonishingly good and very enjoyable to play. Rules of Survival on iOS and Android is an absolute blast to play, and it perfectly captures what makes the Battle Royale formula so much fun. It offers incredibly addicting third-person shooter action that connects players with others around the world, and it encourages cooperative gameplay. Due to being on mobile devices, people with large hands may have some issues with fingers leaving their control zones and making undesired inputs, but with practice this is something that can be easily fixed. There are some noticeable texture pop-in issues and environment loading delays, but these are easily overlooked due to what the game offers. For a game entirely free, Rules of Survival provides one of the truest Battle Royale experiences next to PUBG itself and is highly recommended for Battle Royale enthusiasts to enjoy.